Hey everybody, welcome back. It is Brandon and Ethan here again to discuss the Cubs and everything that is going on with them. First things first, I think the big news that's been sort of come out recently, the Cubs rotation is sort of undergoing another shift due to yet another injury. Ben Brown is out, I believe, with a neck strain, and thus Jordan Wicks is coming back into the rotation.
I don't want to say it's a shame per se because Jordan Wicks has been on the IL for quite a bit and Ben Brown came in to take his place. So it's kind of trading one for the other. So it's good to see Jordan Wicks back. I am a little bit worried because, a lot of our excuse me, a lot of um our bullpen has been kind of been a little bit shoddy this past season to say the least, and I think our prospects really have been delivering, or even just some of our younger players like Javier Assad and Ben Brown. But maybe that now Jordan Wicks has had time to recover, maybe he'll deliver again. Again, I'm a little bit worried, but again, let's stay positive.
Yeah, for sure. I think, yeah, I mean, again, the bullpen's been a mess. I think a lot of us were hoping once Wicks was ready to go back in the rotation, Ben Brown would sort of step into the bullpen and help them out. Obviously, now we don't know when Brown will be back. It looks like maybe late June as is a positive sort of timeline for him, but again, we'll see. Uh, this is, I guess, the sort of, I guess, trying to find the positive in this. The rotation that's currently set up of Justin Steele, Jamison Tyone, Shodi Imanaga, Javier Assad, and Jordan Wicks. This is sort of like the ideal opening day rotation that the Cubs had, I guess, minus Kyle Hendricks. And so the next couple of weeks, it'll be, assuming all these guys can stay healthy, I think it'll be, nice for Cubs fans to see sort of the rotation that'll be in place over the next three-ish years. Because these are the five guys that should sort of be, taking most of the starts, unless Ben Brown or Cade Horton or whoever comes in and takes over for one of them. So again, the starting pitchers have been otherwise excellent this year. Ben Brown, was part of that, leading the pack. And hopefully Jordan Wicks can continue. He's been on a pretty good run, since he came up to the majors at the end of last year. Hopefully he can step in and sort of just replace Ben Brown easily.
Something I kind of wanted to ask you, not that you have the answer to this, but I think it's a question that all Cubs fans are kind of asking is where are all these injuries coming from? Is it just that we're this unlucky this season? Are we working too hard? Because again, we're not having the greatest season, but it seems again, we're having this injury after injury. And some of these injuries are very, I want to say, they're very fair, right? Like they're very fair earned injuries. And then others, it's like, all right, come on. Like, I don't want to say tough it out, but it's like again, like we're already down so many players. We're bringing up people from the minors because again, we just don't have the manpower to keep going with all this injury. Why do you think it's happening, or what do you think we can do to kind of stop this, stop the bleeding?
Yeah, I think it's worth pointing out, every team deals with injuries. Even the Braves, who have been excellent this season, have dealt with a ton of injuries. And so I think part of the reason why the injuries have keep coming up so much, in terms of like discussions, is that it's because the guys who are replacing especially on offense, the guys who are replacing these guys aren't replacing them. They're just, they're physically taking the roster spot. They're not, completing the production part of it. So it really exacerbates the injury problem. And so like that's what causes, I think, so much discussion. Again, the starting pitching anyway, has been really good from the guys who have been filling in. But elsewhere on the roster, the injuries have really opened up some holes in this team and the depth in the organization, or at least at the top levels of the organization. So again, baseball is just, it's a long season. Injuries are going to happen. If the Cubs can choose, I'm sure they'd rather the injuries happen at the beginning of the season, and then hopefully they'll be a little bit healthier later in the year, as they're hopefully making a playoff push. It could just be, it's a ton of factors. It might just be a lot of unluckiness right now. But I think the biggest thing for the Cubs right now is that their top level depth in the minors needs to step up when they're given the opportunity to.